in Northwell, so unlike Savannah, we haven't moved to Epic yet. We're on our Epic roadmap, heading there with the first wave going live in November. So we have a lot of interoperability and multiple system challenges. So even if we can find the right solution that's out there, can it talk to all the different systems that we are utilizing and be able to leverage that data? So that is definitely some challenges that we've had here. And then, all of us operate on very small margins. So the cost of some of this automation and some of those systems, so really making sure that you have a strong ROI, or that, that you really understand what that what that vendor or what that application is going to be bringing to you. And then any kind of technological difficulties. So, these systems are great as long as they're up and running. We all went through, the issues, earlier in the year with, with change being down and stuff like that. So you just sit there and you realize how reliant sometimes we are on these applications, that when you do have to go back to pen and paper, like what a large challenge that is for you. And then, data security, just to keep talking about that. And, so what is those security challenges? We've had here at Northwell, some of the vendors that we've brought forward can't meet the liability requirements that Northwell's putting on the table now with, with so much breaches and so much, new things happening there. So those are all things to talk about. And then that over-reliance on technology, but also sometimes, depending on payer, one of the things that we've found is that, those people inside the practices that don't do this as a dedicated job. I'm a secretary, and, besides answering the phones and checking people in, I also do my providers' authorizations. Those people are harder to buy into some of these technologies or some of these wraparounds, because they don't know, for this payer I can do this, and for that payer I have to fax, and for this payer I have to call. So then they just default to the manual process, and then they just start calling because they feel like they can't rely holistically on these tools because they only work for the bigger payers. That's that digital divide that kind of exists out there in the place. And then we're starting to experience, so places where we've had put some automation in place, some of the payers are now countering it with bot blockers. So now some of our RPA technology and stuff like that is now starting to fail. So where we've invested in building out some of these workflows, we're now finding that they are not working. So even more to Samantha's point is, now we had a conversation earlier in the week with people that could do the automated phone calls for you, because that seems to be one place that maybe you can get around those bot blockers that are out there. But once again, new investment, more money, more technology. And, our most senior leadership gets very, very frustrated. They're like, there needs to be a better way.